Hi, this is Loretta. Welcome. Let's first begin by sitting on the edge of our chair and putting our feet hips width apart. Sitting up straight, making sure our posture is good. And then let's just begin by breathing. Let's take a look at how our breath looks today. Every day, every time we check our breath, it's going to feel different. So let's see if we can't start breathing deeply, exhaling deeply, and get into a pattern of deepening it with each breath. So let's do a few of those and see how we end up. Takes a couple to get your breath deep, I believe. Take another one. Are you starting to feel your stomach as your tummy get air in it when you breathe? Keep bringing your breath and filling your body. And exhaling fully. And let's take one more deep breath. And on the next breath, as we exhale, let's chant Om together to begin our practice. Now, there are certain parts of this practice that can be done with your eyes closed. And if you feel comfortable, I'd like you to go ahead and close them when it feels right to you. And just trust yourself that you'll get the moves. I'll do my best to give the right cues, and we'll see if we can't walk through this together. So let's begin with our arms. Bring them up and bring them down. And bring them up. Excuse me, bring them down. See if you can coordinate your breath with your arms. Take a deep breath in when you bring them up and exhale as you bring them down. Let's take two more. Last one. Exhale all the way. And come to the center. Bring your hands up in prayer position all the way up, and then bring them out. Bring them into prayer position, bring them all the way up, reach, 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 and then bring them out. Feel your body respond to your breath and movement. Are you starting to wake up a little? My shoulders are beginning to feel better. One more in this direction. And now let's take it out and in and out and in. Take a couple more, a few more, two more now. Breathe when you can. Pay attention to your breath. If you can pay attention to your breath and coordinate it, you'll have a much better experience. And then let's take our hands and bring them to the center and interlace them, turn them out, and bring them out straight in front of you. And take a deep breath here. And exhale. On your next in-breath, bring your arms all the way up. And look up. The high altar pose. Bring your ears between your arms. Straighten your posture and breathe. One more deep breath. Bring your hands down, and let's bring our hands up into our Triceps Stretch, which is where you bring both arms above your head and reach your elbows with opposite hands. And sit very tall with your ears between your arms and give 3 deep breaths, remembering to exhale as fully as you inhale. Now drop your arms, bring them to the back of your head, interlace your fingers, and let's take our elbows back as far as we can with our chest out, our chin forward, maybe just a little tucked, and then bring your elbows in as you contract. Expand with them coming out, contract with them coming in. Use your breath. Let's take 2 more. And go ahead and drop your arms. And before we go any further, I'd really like us to do our arm openers for our joints. So let's just bring our arms up and down and up and down. Take a couple more. Well, let's take 3 more because they feel good. Last one, and bring it down into a Tadasana where your hands come out, your chest is open, your heart is open, your energy actually grounds as it comes through you all the way through your body from that energy jolt and grounds into the floor. And then come on back. And let's move to our shoulders. Let's begin by taking up and down. Squint your neck when you do it, so it's a shrug. Up and down. And make sure you let them all the way down with no pressure. Up and down. 2 more. Last one. And now let's, with our hands out front, let's turn our wrists in and out. And feel how that impacts your shoulder. In and out. And your arms too as well. Breathe with it. Last one. And bring your hands back to center. And let's begin by taking just maybe 3 of our goddess circles, putting your hands on your knees, feet are still hips width apart, and begin by going to the side, to the front, to the side, to the back. Now you might be going in an opposite direction to me, that's okay. Be comfortable, whatever side takes you there first, go ahead and use it. Because after the very next one, all the way around to the back, let's stop and go the opposite way. Everybody has a natural way they automatically turn to when they're doing things. I'm sure it's true with you too. Let's take one more great big nice one here. Starting to open up our spine. Sit up straight. Take your hands and gently turn them from side to side. Kidney pats or love taps. However you want to do it. Let's start waking up and integrating with our butt and our hands and our waist. And come on back and drop one hand to the side, one hand on your knee, and we're going to take some spinal twists. We're going to take 3 of them and keep your head loose. It helps if you close your eyes during this one and just let your head naturally flow. If you find your neck getting too tight, just go ahead and give it a couple of shakes now. So deep breath in and turn. Deep breath in and turn. See how your head wants to get involved? Let it be loose. Deep breath in and turn. Come on back to the center. And let's do the other side. Hand goes in back. Other hand on knee. Sitting up straight. Deep breath in and turn. This is a a torso move. So that's why we're keeping the head out of it. Deep breath in. And it's very tempting to want to push yourself or pull yourself. But try not to follow that impulse, and take a deep breath in and twist from the internal parts of you. And come on back to the center. And then let's move on up to our neck. Let's take a few infinity circles, which is our figure 8, and gently using your chin to draw it so that your movement is precise. And see how your neck feels. This will give you a good judgment on that. And come back to the center. And let's just be gentle today and shake our head no. Just gently. If you want to increase it a little, you can. Just no dramatic head no's today, unless you really feel like you need it. And then come back to the center. And let's take yeses. Nodding our heads, yes. Yeses are just as important, if not more important, than no's. Because if we live by yeses, we're living our life more fully. And then come to the center, use your finger, bring your chin up, go ahead and coax it all the way. Open your whole being by taking a form of Tadasana, where your chin is raised, your throat is open, your heart is open, your tummy's open, your belly's open, all the way down through your pelvic floor and into your legs and feet. And take one more breath. And bring your finger back and let your head come down. And then let's take your finger and guide your chin all the way down to your sternum. Dropping your arms, resting your chin on your chest. And let's take 3 really good breaths here and feel that stretch. Go ahead and relax. Last one. Through the exhale. And then if you'd like, bring your finger back up and bring your chin gently up. And just for one more thing for us to do with our shoulders and neck, let's take our right shoulder and come over to our left knee as far down as we can. Come back up, come over, and back up. And let's just do 5 of these on each side. That's 2. This is 3. Go ahead and bend down as far as you can. And bring it back up all the way you can. You can just go ahead and pump it back if you want. See, just like bringing it back. Yeah. Last one on this side. And let's come back to the center. And before we move, let's just make sure those shoulders feel good. Let's go ahead and do our shoulder rolls. And open up anything else through that whole upper back part that feels like it might be sticky. One more. And then shift directions and go the opposite way. Last one. And come on back. That felt good. And let's go into our side to side. So just gently, what I'd like us to do is to gently put your right hand on your hip and raise your left hand. We're going to gently just roll over and feel the energy as it's contained in us. Come to the side, come back up, bring the other hand up, and we're going to take these, I've forgotten what they're called, but they're alternates. And let's just open our side this way today. That whole side panel wants to open up and join the rest of your body. So let's breathe into it. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more on each side. And come on back to center. And with that, let's begin with our cat-cow. And so we'll begin by coming up into the cow, which is an expansion move. You're coming up with your chin and your ribs, coming up with your head, coming back into the cat, which is a contraction, all the way bringing your shoulders in, coming up with the cat and with the cow, down with the cat. And let's set a rhythm with this. This undulates your spine, and your spine loves that movement. So we come up into the cow, back into the cat, into the cow, into the cat. Now let's begin with our right leg and pick it up as we come into the cat. And drop it, pick it up. Go ahead and also encourage your arms to become involved. Open yourself up. One more on this side. Drop this foot. Next cat, bring the other leg up. I like this. Last one. And come on back to center. Now, I don't know how your legs are feeling, but mine could use a little stretching. So let's go back and forth on our sit bones, those broad bones on the back of our rear end, and just kind of undulate back and forth, making sure the sit bones are wide open and that your pelvic floor is flat, and come back to the center. Take your heels or your feet, bring them out to both sides of your chair with your heels pointed in, your toes pointed out. And let's go ahead and take our goddess pose. We sit on the edge of the chair to keep our glutes open. We use our hands to smoothly press our inner thighs out as much as they can open, as much as we can tolerate. And with that stretch, then if you can and you want to, raise your hands and take the goddess pose. Sitting up straight, your posture is good. Your chin is kind of tucked. You're powerful. You're present. Go ahead and take 2 more deep breaths here and close your eyes for them if you want. And then go ahead and bring your hands back to center with our legs open. Let's take our hands out and in. And let's say the word ha, 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 ha. 3 more. Ha, ha. Last one. Ha. And bring your hands back down. Kind of turn your toes pointing inward. Reestablish yourself firmly on your seat. And let's take a roll down, a wide-legged roll down with our hands on our knees, and we're going to let gravity participate here, but we're going to begin by tucking our chin and starting at our first vertebrae on our back, on our spine, and roll down 1 vertebrae at a time, keeping control. And then as your head hits where your hands are, go ahead and drop your hands. Keep your chin tucked. You can drop your hands on the inside if you like, because we're doing a wide-legged spread. It even makes more sense. If you'd like to make this a little bit more, you can use your elbows to push your calves out, which opens up that stretch even more in your thighs, keeping your chin tucked though. And go ahead and feel the relief.
And take 2 more deep breaths. Then bring your hands to your feet and gently use your legs to just kind of come back up, with your chin and your head being the very last thing to rise. You know, while we're here, put your hands on your knees and let's just go ahead and take 3 more goddess circles in each direction. So however you begin, let's go to the side, to the front, to the side, to the back. 2 more in this direction. And stop in the back and go the opposite direction. And see how different your legs feel when they're spread out and you're doing this? This then also involves your upper thighs, which is a good thing. I like it when we can integrate our whole body and come back to the back and stop. And go ahead and bring your legs in. And let's take an eagle pose. And so to begin taking an eagle pose, you may, if you can lift your foot over your leg, go ahead and lift your right leg. Now, if you can't, go ahead and keep them low, crossing your ankles. But if you can, go ahead and lift the leg. And now there are many people who can tuck their toes in back of their other leg. If you can't do that, that's okay. Bring your foot to the front, or not to the front, but to the side, and keep it as close to your other leg as you can. Now I know that sometimes there's a cramp that happens right here on the side of the leg. Try to avoid that and just go ahead and do your best. Like I notice if I keep my legs over like this, the cramp doesn't happen. When I stretch and I really bring it to the side, that's when I have to really breathe through that. So any way you can do it is okay. This is the eagle. And what it teaches us is how to see things through a different perspective. If your right leg is on top, go ahead and relax. If you relax just a little, breathe into it. Your legs aren't going to hurt. Go ahead and breathe. Just 2 breaths, just practice. And 1 more. And what you have here is this is an eagle perch when your legs are together like this. Now take your right arm, put it over your left arm, bring your left arm under, and go ahead and if you can, clasp your palms or bring your fingers to your palms. Now what I want you to see is I want you to see that peak hole right in the middle of your arms. And I'd like you to take a deep breath and find something to focus on, a drewski, a focusing point, and watch what happens when you narrow your vision to a new perspective. Deep breath in, let's take 2. Now turn to the right on your next breath and let it out. Find something else to focus on and take 2 breaths here. And then come on back to center. Let your hands go, let your arms go, and let's do the other side. Either bring your foot over, bring your leg over, or tuck your foot and bring it all the way over. I'm going to keep this one close to my other leg, because I do feel a cramp on that. So, and that's what I'm really saying is if you feel something that hurts, don't do it. Like find another way to entice the energy out of you in the same way. So put your hand or your foot, maybe I can do it. There we go. Bring your left hand up on top. Your right arm goes under. We're forming a cross, bringing our palms together, bringing them as far away from our body as we can. And find your peephole and find your focus. And take 2 deep breaths. And then turn to the left and find something else to focus on.
And take 2 breaths. And come on back to center and drop your arms and undo your legs. And let's just take our legs, and I'd like to just kind of open them up a little. And let's do some windshield wipers just to release the tension. Go ahead and bring your knees in and out, and in and out on the sides of your feet as you go out. And let's just open that up just a little bit more. One more. And then come on back together. And let's do our leg sequence. And let's do it with the crossover this time. Now, and we'll do 5 on each leg. So what I'd like you to note, it's 1 over, out, down, out, over, out. Now, if you're doing it low, it's out, over, out, down. Same thing. You're just keeping it lower. So those of you who want to do it higher, let's do it now. Right leg up, over. Sorry, I almost got confused. Out and down. Up, over, out and down. Up, over, out and down. 2 more. Okay, now when you bring your leg up and bring it over, let's take a deep breath, get your posture straight, and we're going to fold over our leg, hinging at the hips and dropping our arms. So take a deep breath in and come down as low as you can, tucking your chin, bringing your head down to your knee if you can, and relaxing. You're opening up those glutes. Make sure you're on the edge of your chair. There's a hip flexor here that gets really opened up by this. And then come on back up and let's move to the other leg. So it's out, over, out, and down. I kind of like this a lot. I think I like it that it crosses over. Then take a deep breath. And no matter if you're doing it low or high, hinge at the hips and come over and lay yourself on your lap and drop your arms. Tuck your chin and breathe. Feel how it opens up those upper legs and that glute area. And you can come on back up and put your foot down. Now let's stand up. Well, yeah, let's stand up. And let's take, I've been working lately thinking about this, is that spread your legs just a little side to side, stand next to your chair. And then gently bend one knee. Now you can point your toes out a little, I think it helps. And then bend the other knee. Okay, this is what we're doing. We're going side to side, bending our knees, practicing movement from side to side, shifting our weight. Let's take 3 more. This is 2. This is the last one. Then come back, bring your feet to the top of your mat. Just come up and stand by your chair. Take your leg and foot closest to the chair and step back gently. Doesn't have to be a really big step back. Just step back, because what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and take that straight leg, bending over, pushing your hips back and moving down, keeping your legs straight to open up that whole entire back of your Achilles tendon up through your hips. Take 2 deep breaths. Use your chair for balance. And then come on back up. And then while we're there, let's take a warrior 1. Take your front foot, leave your back foot exactly where it is. Move your front foot forward a little and bring it out so you have room to move your hips forward facing. Now, remember, the energetics of this is you're pushing with your back leg. You're coming up with your front You're coming through dirt, layers of dirt. That's what the mythology on this is. You come back and you do a slight back bend. Your front leg is still bent. Your back leg is very straight. So you're pushing and you're reaching and you're waiting. And take a couple of breaths. One more deep breath here. Now, if at any point you need to, you just use this chair to balance yourself. Because what we're going to do next is we're going to do the humble warrior. That's warrior one. This is the humble warrior. Come on down. You're over your leg, still pushing with the back, hinging at the hips. Your hands are up or on the chair. And you breathe. And then when you're ready, bring yourself back up, turn to a star, and that is the warrior one position. Let's come to the other side. Open up our knees, feet kind of a little bit apart, and then just start going from side to side, bending the knees. Yep, there we go. Might take you a second to get the rhythm, but I think it's pretty simple. Let's do one more. And come together. Bring your feet together. Step back with the foot closest to the chair. There we are. Step back. Straighten your legs completely now. Then put your hands on your hips, hinging at the hips. Come on down over your knee. Now, if you need to use the chair, go ahead for balance. All we're doing is opening the back of our legs. So go ahead and use that for that. And breathe. One more deep breath here. And then come on back up. And let's take a warrior one. So leaving your back foot where it is, bring your front foot forward a little. Take it to the side a little so you have room. This is a frontward move. So our hips are pointing forward. Let me get my balance. Okay. Back leg pushes. You come up and out of the ground. You rise up. Front leg is bent. You do a slight back bend. And you breathe. And you wait to hear what next from your Lord. That's what this pose is about. You're coming up out of the ground. You're going to do his service. And you're waiting to hear from him. So then you come down and you take a humble pose while you wait. You bend out over your front leg. Back leg is still pushing. Hands are back. Get your balance. And breathe. One more breath. And then come on back up and take the star. And come on back to center. We'll take one more pose and let's make it our chair pose, or the awkward pose as it's called. I'm going to move forward just a little and I'll do it from the front. All right. Your feet are together, your knees are together. You bend down, reach like you're taking something from the floor. Bring your hands back up on your knees, keeping them bent. Bring them either to your waist or up and out. This is the awkward pose. Keep your legs bent, your top as straight as you can, and breathe. Keep your arms separate so that your shoulder blades aren't crunching. One more breath. And then gently come up and take a mild back bend. And come on back down. And then while we're here, let's go ahead and rotate our knees in circles. And slow down and go the other way. And slow down and do our hips. Let's just loosen up all the way. And then go the other way. Feels good, huh? And then come on back to your chair and sit down. Sit on the edge of your chair. Your feet are hips width apart. And that's generally the position we need to be in when we're doing chair yoga. So in case I forget to say it sometimes, it's always that way. Unless we're doing Tadasana, or unless we're doing the relaxation pose. So take a couple of breaths here. Actually, let's do a Tadasana. Bring your energy out. Hands out, open, heart open, and take 2 deep breaths. The mountain pose. Feel the energy from the earth. And come on back in. And let's do our hands. Take your hands, put them together. Then gently with your little fingers touching, roll your hands around backwards and touch your fingers at every point and come up. One more up and then come on back down by reversing the position. This gives your wrists and your fingers a really good stretch, not to mention your shoulders. And we have just a little bit more time, so go ahead, let's spend the time looking at our hands and taking our hands and dropping them. I can only do one at a time. So go ahead and take your left hand and bring it and point it down. And then push the back of your hand with your other hand, with your elbow raised, and just take a really nice stretch there. If you breathe while you're stretching, your arm will feel it better. And then let it go and bring it up and push your palm backwards. And take 2 deep breaths. And let it go and move to the other hand, starting with the pointed down. Go ahead and take your elbow up, that helps. Press on the back of your hand and take that stretch with 2 breaths. And then bring it up and do the same. And let your hands go. And then gently find your comfort place on your chair. This is the one time when you can certainly sit back. And if your feet can touch the ground, that's great. That's what we want. We want your feet to stay on the ground. So however far you can sit back and still keep your feet on the ground, bonus. And then let's begin going in to our Shavasana, which is our meditative pose. And the best way I know to do that is to take a couple of really deep breaths and focus your body and bring yourself inward, closing your eyes and breathing and letting the breath relax and melt you. Use your breath, let it integrate with your mind and your movement and your body parts. Go ahead and use the breath. Your energy flows on it. Let it release whatever tension you have. And then you can breathe like yourself. And I'll be quiet. And we have a few minutes we can spend where we can integrate our being and just relax. I'll tell you when it's time to come back. And gently extend your breath and take a deep breath in. And bring yourself back up and let the air out. And take whatever movements you need that will bring you back into your body. I really like raising my knees, bringing it up, and raising the other one and putting it down. And I really like the big stretch of opening my arms, hugging myself up high, and then hugging myself down low. And then I like us to take a deep breath in wherever you're at. And as we exhale, let's exhale to the sound of Om together to close our practice. Deep breath in. Hands together in prayer position for acknowledgement of the one true teacher in each of us that brings us together and that leads us through everything in our daily lives. The light in me sees and honors and cherishes the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for coming. I hope to see you next week.